Om Om Sadasivasamaramabha Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidyushavahī Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Achintya Vyaktarupaya Nirgunaya Gunatmane Samasta Jagatadhara Murtaye Brahmane Namaha. As we are talking about this Guru Tattva, the main purpose of knowing Guru Tattva in details is not mere glorifying the teacher, not putting him or in high pedestal and looking down one's own self, and in the process being a dependent, but here expressing the gratitude and uplifting one's own self. Like in Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna answered Arjuna regarding Sthita Pragyasya Lakshana, characteristics of a wise person, there Adi Shankaracharya nicely, one line introduction he wrote. There he mentioned, whatever are the lakshanas, characteristics of a wise person, yani स्थित प्रज्ञस्य लक्षणानि सन्ति तानि तानि साधकस्य साधनानि भवन्ति इति. It's a very beautiful statement Adi Shankaracharya made. Means whatever is the characteristics of a wise person, which is natural to a wise person, which is the part of his system or her system, that becomes sadhana for a person who wants to be wise. Not to judge, not to brand, not to put in high pedestal. So also here Guru concept. So the Shishya looks at all these aspects, not only helps him or her to avoid with the teaching more and more, also understanding where I am lacking, how to look at, how to deal with the situation, also how to manage me and my relation. So putting all these things together, so last class we saw, Yenedam Darshitam Tattvam, Chitta Chaityadikam Tatha, Jagrat Swapna Susuptyadi, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, verse number 69. So here, when we see this point, sometimes Guru is not another than Brahman, Guru is none other than teaching, Guru is also sometimes the physical body. You have to take it contextually. And as again and again I am highlighting that when we try to differentiate, then the problem starts. That's why we say very carefully that Karyadvaita Sada Kurya. Sorry, Bhavadvaita Sada Kurya. Karyadvaita Naha Karichit. So in thinking, always there should be Advaita thinking, non-duality thinking, the teaching that you are learning to be always encouraged, sustained, but not with reference to karma action. Oh, I am Brahman, I don't have to do any action. In fact, if I sit down, that's enough. It is not. You have understanding, you are lazy. That's why we say very carefully, please understand that you cannot justify your weakness, you cannot justify your hatred, you cannot justify your laziness, you cannot justify your depression, you cannot justify your frustration, you cannot justify anything in this universe. One has to be very clear and careful. Because the moment I try to justify anything, that means already I am in that loop. And I can never come out the loop. Impossible to come out of the loop. Try. The moment the mind starts working to justify, you will have thousands of logic to prove that you are right. So here, all these things being taught very carefully, that when we look at the teacher, when we look at the teaching, please understand that we cannot justify, we cannot challenge, we cannot compare, because wherever there is a comparison, justifying attitude happens, definitely there the teaching fails, their teacher dies. Many places in a relationship, teacher-student relationship, teacher dies first, student doesn't die, okay? So teacher dies always. So when the teacher dies, what will happen? Teaching will not happen. Even if the person jumps from one teacher to another teacher, please understand, there also same thing will happen. After some time, the teacher will die. There are hundreds of examples. Even if you can look at yourself, don't judge others. You can see for yourself. So here, looking at all these aspects, here, Lord Shiva talks in details that how this Guru is the embodiment of everything. Continue. Yasya jnanavidam vishwam na drishyam bhinna vedatah sadeika rupa rupaya tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. He says, look, if you look at this Guru, now, yasya jnanam idam vishwam. So, whose knowledge is this entire universe as Karya Prapancha? And interestingly, he says, look, in him, na drishyam bhinna bhedataha, drashta drishyam no na bhinna bhedataha. So, he who does not see the difference between what? The seer and seen. So, that's why he brought this part, very technical way he brought it. First, generally, our knowledge is related to Karya Prapancha, Vishwa. So, when I gather any knowledge, I gather always with reference to this entire world other than me. But while I am engrossed in Karya Prapancha, I always forget, I always ignore Karana. So, when I ignore the Karana, definitely I am either attached or carried away with the Karya. Here he says, look, even though the Jnanam of Vishwa is there, Karya Jnanam is there, like the goldsmith. Goldsmith is very much, clear about all sort of designs of new ornament. But never forgets, hey, look, what is the gold? What is the cost of the gold? Whereas when you go to buy, you are more interested in design rather than whether it is 18 karat, 21 karat, or 24 karat. Can you see the concept how it works? So that's why here it says, Sadeika Rupa Rupaya Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So that means you are the embodiment of Sat Eka Rupa. That one form that is exist, that is called existence, nothing else. And being one, that is the knowledge, and you are embodiment of that. That's why my salutation to you. Because why this thing happens? I'll give you a beautiful story so that you can understand. This is how the teaching works. One day, the king left his son, prince, with a guru. And this is how it's supposed to be. Because guru cannot come to the student's place. Student comes to guru's place. That was the system. Or else the guru has to adjust according to the student. It will not work. no teaching can take place. Student has to change. However, that was the Gurukulam system. The prince goes to Gurukulam not as a prince but as a student. We have seen best example Lord Rama. When Lord Rama and all these the other three brothers went to Gurukulam, mothers were not allowed to go. And also being king also will not be entertained whenever wants to go to see children, not allowed. Can go to meet teacher, but not the son. Very strictly. But nowadays parents meet, this meet, that meet, you know what are the things, okay? It's just drama, nothing else. However, coming to the point, so when this prince was being sent to Gurukulam as a student, studied few years, the father was, little bit concerned, so went to take him back because mother also started pushing. So went to meet Guru. I would like now his study over. I would like to take my son back. The Guru said, yes. Now he is smart, but not yet intelligent. Go back. And remember, king was not allowed to meet the child. This is the rule. Now, after a few years passed away, again, being father, again wanted to go, of course, because of push. And you know what happened? Now, again, when the king came to Gurukulam, asked teacher, I would take my son back. Yes, you can. But remember, now, not only he is smart, also intelligent. This is not time. Go back. And of course, when he comes back, the wife, the queen is getting angry. What is happening? No, Guru does not allow. What can I say? Again, after a few years back, now, when he comes and says, look, I would like to take my child back, Guru says, just go back. I will send the message. You don't have to come and ask again and again. Go. The king had to go back. No choice. And in due course of time, the Guru sent a messenger. Now time has come. Now the Samavartana Utsava to be made. Let the king come in his way to receive the child. That time, the king asked, now why do you say that it's completed? He said, look, now your child is mature. So what do you mean by this? Being smart, being intelligent, and being mature. It is very simple. Because when you came first time, that time he knew many informations. So he was having all sort of informations at his disposal. That's why he was smart. But if you have information, but you don't have intelligence to choose what is right, what is wrong. If you do not know really what is right, what is wrong, you are caught in the information jungle. And if you are caught in the information jungle, always you will use information in a wrong way, according to your convenience. That's why I said, wait, let him be intelligent. Let him know what is right and what is wrong. Okay, I understand that. Then what about that? That's enough. No, that's not enough. You may be knowing what is right or wrong, but you do not know when to use, how to use. If you do not know when to use, how to use, when not to use, then you will be misguided by others. Those who are next to you, especially ministers, being he is going to be king later on. So he will be misguided by ministers and other people. That's why I wanted him to be mature. Not only you know what is right, what is wrong, also you know when to use, how to use, when not to use, why not to use, and how much to be used. This is called teaching. Suppose if the king starts questioning, if the prince starts questioning, will this growth take place? But what happens in teaching? Little bit we get. In the first class, I said, Rishikesh thing, first day, namaste. They touch down, went down to touch feet. Then after a few months, then after that, then after that, smiling. Then after 1 or 2 years, they expect you to do namaskaram. That's why Puja Swamiji used to say very carefully those days, hey, Rishikesh is not place of learning, okay? That's why he did not like. In fact, he was supposed to be, there to teach. He said, no, no, this is not a place of life. This is a place of Bhandara, okay? So you can have a Bhandara Swami go around and all these things with due respect. Coming back, yasya jnatam matam tashyam matam yasya na vedasah ananya bhava bhavaya tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Actually, this verse is related to Kena Upanishad. So in Kena Upanishad, very nicely says that Yasya matam tasya matam matam Yasya na veda saha avigyatam vigyatam vigyatam avigyatam iti. So from this Kena Upanishad, this verse has been taken. In short, very carefully said, look, you must be knowing. This is the two concept you need to understand very carefully from this essence. The first stage, hopefully you know this much. No student can say that my guru is enlightened. Is wrong. But everybody says that, this is called marketing strategy. Oh, my guru is enlightened. So he looks through the eyes, not only he enlightened recently here in Italy happened, okay? Yesterday somebody was telling me. Swamiji, his strategy is he just looked through your eyes. The moment you look through your eyes, so you are enlightened. You are free from samsara chakra. I said that fellow should be fast free from samsara chakra, okay? I mean, people are carried away with that. But people love it, okay? Don't worry. Because they want some change, some entertainment. However, let me not get into. So here, no student as a rule, no student has a right to say that my guru is enlightened. If any student says my guru is enlightened, that means that fellow does not deserve to be a student. Is it clear? Because who are you to certify your guru? So that means what? You are giving certificate to your guru. My guru is enlightened. And gurus also look for certificate from student. What sort of guru shishya parampara? Out of reverence, you may say that is a different thing altogether, but technically not to be told. Number one. The guru by himself or herself cannot say that I am enlightened. This is the verse, okay? Because if the guru says I am enlightened, she said, Yasya jnatam matam tasya matam yasya na vedasaha. If you say you are enlightened, really you are not enlightened either. It is like silence. If I keep talking, I am silent, I am silent, I am silent. Really, am I silent? Even if mentally I start saying, I am silent, I am silent, I am silent. Really, am I silent? Me and silence has to be one and same. There should not be any external noise nor internal noise. Then only I am embodiment of silence. So also the enlightenment is not a state that I have to reach, and after reaching I have to come back to transact. The problem is here, enlightenment people think is a state. So my guru went to that state and came back. Yes, once in a while also, don't worry, whenever I take spirit, also I go to a state, again I come back. Forget about going to the spirit. If you take marijuana liquid, appa, what a state. That's why there are yoga practices with marijuana in West now, okay? And some of the Europe countries, they legalize now marijuana. That's another point. However, let us not get into again controversy. Here he says, look, Ananya Bhava Bhavaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. My guru, who is one with the silence, one with the teaching, not different from teaching. There is no other bhavam iti. There is no other thing that exists. That's why my salutation to that who is the embodiment of the teaching. Continuing. यस्मै कारणरूपाय कार्यरूपेण भाति यत् कार्यकारणरूपाय तस्मै श्री Gurave Namaha. This is look again. The teacher is the embodiment of Karana. It's a very nice point he puts. So embodiment of Karanam, Karanam means the cause, okay? So the Brahman, but always he comes down to the Karya level. Imagine if the teacher always with silence and you people keep making noise. Hey, he has to come down to say, hey, silent. You understand? It's very simple. So the teacher to teach has to come down. Unless the teacher comes down, cannot teach. Impossible. It's like exactly how you make your child to grow. So when child cries or does something, you also have to cry, you have to shake your head, you have to do all the activities to make sure child is able to relate with you. And if you discover child is doing well, you can say something differently. Don't worry, okay? So recently, I am with a child. So I was talking to that child. Hey, look, you are not a baby, already 5.5 months. Behave properly. You may believe it or not, that fellow started responding. And after that, he doesn't look at me directly. He looks at, there is no eye contact. And whenever I am coming nearer to him, he understands how to behave. It's very perfectly. Because one day I explained, hey, you are not a baby. You are already 5.5 months. Think of 10 years, 20 years side, okay? And don't waste your time thinking that you are 5.5 years, 5.5 year old month baby, okay? Grow up. You are a boy now. And that fellow understood, kept quiet and observing me. After that, he doesn't look at me directly, no eye contact. Only when he wants to have entertainment, he wants to have eye contact, or else. And of course, he must be looking when this fellow is coming and going away, okay? It's an amazing concept to observe children. So, coming back, the point here, the teacher to come down to teach has to be in the Karya Rupa. So, in the form of the role that is being required, demanded. That's why here he says, but problem is when he is in Karya, I cannot look at in Karya form all the time. That's why he says, Karya Karana Rupahaya. Oh teacher, not only you come down to the level in the form of Karya, also you are in the form of cause. That's why my salutations to you. Or else what will happen? You will take teacher for granted. Once you take teacher for granted, you will start competing with a teacher. Remember, this is the most important thing happens with students. First, what you do, you generally, when the teacher starts teaching, that's why we maintain certain things because of this reason. The moment the teacher becomes close to you, then you start taking him for granted, then you start competing. So comparing and competition, remember the moment you start comparing yourself with the teacher, instead of looking at your teaching aspect, you compare with the teacher. So once you start comparing yourself with the teacher, then you start competing. And when you start competing with the teacher, you don't have any other choice. Either you will become arrogant, you will differ from the teacher, or you will go through depression. There is no third option left. In short, either you will be agitated or you will be depressed. And I don't see any third option. You can see the whole world wherever this has happened. It's a very sensible point to observe in life. That's why it says, Nana Rupamidam Vishwam Nakenapyasti Bhinnata Karyakarana Rupaya Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Says, look, this Vishwam, this entire universe, is in different forms. Nana Rupam Idam Vishwam Iti. There is a diversity. In fact, everything is available in different form. But na kenapi asti bhinnata. Whereas with reference to Guru, there is no diversity. In fact, we try to see also, this is what, when a student comes, this is what I remember with Puja Swamiji very carefully. Whenever he was talking to us, including those who are elder students, first batch student, all these people, he can really see the graph, the day they came to study, what they are doing, how they fell down or come up, or how they are growing, growing, growing. Till the end, he looks at the graph. He does not look at what you are talking, what you are not talking. Always he looks at the graph. It's amazing when he talks sometimes. Hey, look, I can tell each one because so many students we were. He can say, look, I can tell all the students in details graph. Okay, the first day when you came, how you were, now how you are. So the teacher does not see what you talk, what you do, but a teacher sees the graph. Psychological, please understand. And when I personally look at, when I look at the graph is going down, down, or more up and down, I really get irritated. This is my irritation. If I see the graph is good level, no problem. And of course, if it is really growing, absolutely no problem. But if I discover it's going up and down, still I have hope. But when I see it's going down, 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 it's hopeless case. So that's why what we do see here, he says, Nana Rupamidam Vishwam, no kenapi asti bhinnata. Even though the entire world is different, it appears in different forms, but the Guru does not see any differences. Sees always the Karanam Iti. That's why when you try to see a person, especially when you play the role, see, for example, if you are a father or mother, generally, if you are a matured father and mother, parents, what you see the growth of the child, not the what child is giving, what child is not giving. Whereas if you are not matured parents, what you look at? So whether child is giving or not, especially nowadays, children know how to play with the parents. Yesterday I was talking to a child. Today is Thanksgiving Day. Okay, so I spoke to the child. Hey, tell me whom will you give thanks? Do you know what that verse says? I'll give thanks to my friends. I said, what about your parents? Then he says, okay, okay, I'll give thanks to my mother. I said, what about father? No, 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 I don't want to give father because he wants to extract something directly. Okay. So that fellow knows how to handle the situation. So this is the present generation, whether you like it or not. But parents also are equally emotional. They also get carried away. So a father or a mother must see the growth, not what a child is giving, what a child is doing, or how the child is relating with me. If there is no growth, it is better to be tough, or else it will be a disaster in future. However, he says, that's why Karya Karana Rupaya, oh teacher, you are both in the form of Karya and Karana. That's why my salutations to you. Jnana Sakti Samarudha Tattvamala Vibhushita. Here is written Vibhushine. Vibhushita Bhukti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Here says, look, so who is the teacher? So teacher is being, very nice explanation gives, The teacher is always with a garland. So we give garland, not a flower bouquet, okay? So when I start traveling in the West, so flower bouquet comes, okay? In India also started coming, don't worry, okay? India is destroyed, copied wrong things from West. At least only should copy about the hygiene part. Other than hygiene part, nothing much to be copied from West. But India doesn't copy the hygiene part, but copies all the wrong parts, okay? I'm sorry to say. However, this flower bouquet, what is this flower bouquet? But anyway, no problem. So I have to adjust. In India, when somebody gives also, I look at means the fellow doesn't know anything. He's a confused fellow. Okay. However, so the mala, and mala means a garland. So garland of different flowers, and also there is a thread. That thread is inherent everywhere, and that thread is the knowledge. So we have mala is a big concept. We offer mala, not a flower bouquet to the god or deity or guru. So you can give a flower to your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay? Okay, you can give no problem. But don't do this, okay? Anyway, let me not get into too much. Doesn't look nice. Then they will say, Swamiji, we do not know how to make mala. Recently, I want to share with you a fun. Recently, one program was there, so I asked them for lemon mala because I said I don't want. At least make a lemon mala. Do you know? I don't want to say. At least some round lemon should be there. The way they did it is funny. At least spend some time in the YouTube, see all these things. No thinking involved, nothing, just time pass. Some bhavana should be there. If the bhavana is not there, things are not going to work in long run at all. However, let me not stress too much. And here is the Guru is embodiment of this mala. So what is that mala? Jnana Sakti Samarudha. So that means, and also Tattva mala. So Tattva means the truth. So now different type of bead, different type of flowers represents different type of methodology of teaching. So amazing concept, okay? Now the tattva is the thread. The knowledge is the thread. With a different type of methodology of teaching, now the teacher is putting a mala. That's why we acknowledge with a garland, the mala. And interestingly, because the person is established in the knowledge with a different type of methodology of teaching that represents his flower, and inherent is tattva, the truth, the thread. And because of that reason, he becomes bhukti mukti pradata. Not only he gives liberation, mukti, also he becomes the giver of success, giver of comfort. That's why my salutations to my teacher. Continuing, I think we have crossed the time. We'll see. Aneka janma samprata karma bandha vidahini jnanala prabhavena tasmai sri gurave namah. We'll see. Om Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.